We are live, I think. Now, do you happen to like have your YouTube up and see us? Because I'm on my phone.
No, I can do that.
Cool.
I shut it down in case it
plays in. It shouldn't if you're on a desktop and you have decent like internet, which I don't.
Make sure it doesn't.
I got a notification that says we're live. Like, whatever. I
think we are. I've just had a reminder.
Cool. All right, I got a little eyeball up there. It looks like nobody's tuning in just yet, which is fine. It's not even 1 o'clock yet. So we are going to just, woosah. You just remember we're live. I will forget that.
Yeah, we're good.
Solid. All right.
Just been watching myself 20 seconds before myself.
Yeah. Good. Whew. All right. It is officially 1 o'clock. We will. Hi, Connor. We will give some people some time to come on in the live chat. The live show. God. All right.
Is that your English accent?
I like it. Just happens sometimes. I can't. Sometimes
it happened. It happened a lot during my review, didn't it?
It's just.
What are you called? Too cold.
Oh no, that was on purpose. That was because I'm like, well, who says this? Who says what are you cold? Well, now I do. It's so hot in my room right now. I'm gonna die.
You can't put a fan on. Bad audio.
I've got a fan right here. Does it bother the audio? Can you hear the fan?
Not much.
Solid.
It just sounds like you're on the top of a mountain.
Basically. All right, I'm going to put the fan right there. Maybe that'll make me feel better. Whew. All right. So this is my first hosting of a live show. So bear with me, everybody. Trev, happy to have you as my guinea pig.
Thank you very much. So where do we see comments then? I'm looking down there. Can Connor type something so I can see?
So do you see I see Connor's comment. Hang on.
Oh dear.
You see it on TV
now? Oh,
now?
live comments. I'm there now. I'm with it.
There we go.
Hi,
so now
Connor.
do you see the little place where we see the comments?
Yeah,
cool.
Isn't that good?
Yes.
So 21st century. Man.
Yeah. And I'm like definitely still learning as I go. So we'll figure this out. TF Lince. Look at that little scrolly thing I got going.
Yeah, I thought I put Trev Lince because obviously I'm not called TF Lince, but
I mean, and I always call you Trev, but that's if they want to Google you or like Amazon.
My mother blessed me with Trevor, and then my middle name's it's not a good name, and my middle name of Frank. So I wrote a book and thought, right, Trevor Lince. No, I don't like that. Hated it all my life. Frank Lince, that's not happening.
No.
So it's either make a uppy one, isn't it, or go down J.K. Rowling's route of TF Lince. Hiya, Annie. My daughter's just joined.
Oh, hello. Let's go back to the comments. Hello.
That's Annie, my little girl.
Hello, Annie.
I'm hoping she's putting everything on Facebook now and saying, get to this channel right now.
The chat. We are officially 3 minutes live thus far. We are going to go, I guess we'll give it 5, and then we'll really start with our show.
You see, Annie would probably leave right now if I told her she hasn't read any of my books because she doesn't read a thing. But she's a brilliant guitarist and she plays gigs all the time. So she's used to doing this live stuff, but not me.
Oh, so she's got to give you some tips.
Yeah, she's very good.
She could do the soundtrack for your book.
She could if she'd ever read my book, but she's
come on, Annie, get it together.
She's working on it. I've given her the audio copy the other day, so she might listen to that. She said,
"Oh, that's easier. She can kind of just chill in bed." Now, you didn't do the audio for it, right?
No, I didn't. No, I've got this. This girl who's never done an audiobook before. Actually, she used to be a BBC.
You picked a voice actor.
Yeah, she was a BBC presenter announcer. So she used to like next on BBC One it's very neutral accent.
Radio voice.
And she'd never done a book, and then she works on the radio as a newsreader. Mm-hmm. And she I didn't have any show reels on ACXs where you do audio books and you collaborate with someone. And I didn't have any. I listened to all the other people. I didn't think they were great. And then I tried her, and she was brilliant. And I thought, well, you've never done audio, but here's me giving her a break. But she's.
I mean, it's the first book you ever wrote too, so it's the balance there.
Both of them are on Audible, but 248 copies, and you get about £7 a copy. You get massive royalties on audiobooks.
Yeah. Well, especially like these days, audiobooks are so much more popular.
Yeah.
I don't have the attention span for them. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
I just don't. I'll just zone off. I'm better with like music. I can listen to music and read at the same time. But an audiobook, I'll be like, oh, look, there's something shiny over there. What just happened?
Anyway, my daughter said she's going to listen to it. So there's a commitment that
there we go. We're putting you on blast, Annie. Now the world knows you're going to listen to it. She did not say she's going to read it, but she did say she's going to listen to it. She listened
to it. Yeah, I think so. I've listened to enough of her gigs, so she owes me at least that.
Fair trade. I'll have to go check out Annie's. She's on YouTube, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Solid. I've seen before, but I don't think there was much on there when I looked at it. She's
starting to bake a lot of. I mean, we'll talk about me in a minute, but she's starting to bake a lot of cakes and stuff on YouTube. But she will do the odd guitar video, I think.
Your best bet, like they say with the algorithm, like pick something and stick to it. That's a load of crap, let me tell you, because people get real sick of cakes real quick. But you got a little bit of cake, you got a little bit of music. Making fun of dad, some pranks, some of that fun. She'll be solid, especially because she's 19. It's harder for us old heads.
Yes. We can't remember what we did yesterday. So
I can't remember like 10 minutes ago. I was blonde. So I was a different person, to be completely honest. All right. It is 1:05. We are officially 6 minutes and 20 minutes, or 6 minutes and 20 minutes, 6 minutes and 20 seconds into this live thing. So we are going to get started. For all of our viewers tuning in, feel free to chat in this comment thing and we can feature you up here. For any of the, I can't edit any of my weird stuff. For any of those of you who do not know who I am, I'm Kara from Books and Barbells. I do book reviews, rants, cosplays, all sorts of strange stuff. This is Trev Lince, who is a budding author with 2 books under your belt now. And we are here today to kind of just chat a little bit and do a live Q&A, and we will see where the wind takes us. Trev, how about you introduce yourself? Tell our viewers a little bit about you.
Okay, my name's Trev Lince. I'm based in the northeast of England. I'm not going to tell you how it came about because I'm going to get a lot of questions, but I've written 2 novels up to now, and they're both doing very well. Everyone seems to like them. Had about 2 bad reviews out of about 200, so I can't complain.
Solid percentage.
Yeah, and I approached a few. I was after a booktuber to read my book. It's all well and good getting reviews when you read them. It was quite nice watching someone say something about it. So I thought, I'll have a look at this community, and then I've sort of fell in love with it a bit. I'm a bit addicted now.
It's funny. Am I your first booktuber?
You're the first person to ever read it on BookTube. Yeah.
Ballsy selection, my friend. I'm trying to like figure out angles here. Bear with me. Remember before when we're like left is right and right is left? I clearly haven't figured it out.
Yes. Well, do you know when I said you're a bit nuts? That's because you're the only person to give it a go. I was trying to give away for free, saying, "Who wants to do my book and BookTube?" Everyone's going, "Oh no, you're not part of this community. We're not going anywhere near." So.
Yeah, I will say BookTube is a little cliquey. Yeah. Definitely a little cliquey. I've got like the little friends that I've made throughout it, which I love dearly. You all know who you are. Yeah. And every day, like I come in contact with some new people, new art, and I love it. But I will say it is definitely very hard to dive into it, especially as an author, because that's even worse. Like the stands and stuff. Like I
actually watched a YouTube video of this American girl who's got about 20,000 followers, and she went, "Little tip for authors if you're trying to get us to read your book," and she ranted on for about an hour, basically saying how we should do it and how you should do it properly and how we should approach properly. And I thought, well, I'm quite impulsive. If I see someone and would you like a copy of my book? Or this,
you gotta have the right vibe.
Yeah, and she was like, "No, if you don't do this and if you don't do that and if you don't," and it seemed very rigid. So I was a bit scared. I don't think that girl
would have liked your book. I'm not gonna lie.
No, don't think so.
I don't. She definitely wouldn't have liked Dean, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
But I have definitely noticed. Actually, I've noticed a lot, especially like the bigger booktubers. There's like half and half. Half of them, like, they don't really discuss why they choose things, how they choose things that they're going to review if, like, authors contact them. But I've seen other ones, like, straight up be like, "Oh, if you're not going to pay me or if I'm not going to get something out of this, bro, you sent me a free book. I'm happy. Like, this is, like, a joint effort here. We're both new into this industry."
From an author's point of view, forget booktubing for a minute. The cost, if you're stupid enough to pay it for a written review,
aren't you?
Yeah, a written review is $50.
Because people decide on their pricing and all that crazy nonsense.
Yeah, $50. No, I'm on about. A
Or
lot
her.
of people will review your book because a lot of people will review your book because they want to do it and they like it and they want to buy it. But there's companies out there say we'll get you 3 reviews for $150. What?
Yeah.
Really? As if I'm going to do that.
That's the same thing as like the followers and the subscribers. Like, $10 a day and you'll get 100 subscribers. I bet you I won't, and I bet you they'll unsubscribe because they don't know what they're subscribing to. Like, listen, you know better than anybody. I'm a little weird.
Connor's, I'm checking on the
chats.
The chat. Connor's just said he's very excited to read it this month. Well, I don't know if you know what he's doing this month. He's doing an A to Z, 26 books in a month.
Oh,
beginning with different letters.
Good luck. Oh, room 119. Are you doing that as?
I'm doing R.
So instead of 1. Solid. 26 books. That just like instantly gave me a headache. I'm not gonna lie. Like maybe once upon a time.
That's why he's smiling on that picture. He's
evil. Actually, he's like, watch me. Well, I look forward to your A to Z torture, you masochist, Connor. I will be keeping my eye out for that.
And welcome, Kira. Kira's just joined.
Apparently, Connor's nuts. Love it. Welcome to the club. All right, Trev. Continue telling us a little bit about yourself, and then we are going to bring in our mystery guest inquisitor.
Okay, right. So, well, I'm married to Claire. I've got Annie, who's on this right now, who's great. I play guitar, actually. Play a bit of golf. Do a bit of that. A bit of this.
You cancelled golf today, didn't you?
I did cancel golf. I brought a brand new driver, and I'm dying to hit it, but I'm not very good at golf.
That's what she said.
And I'm writing my 3rd book. To be honest, I published my first book December the 14th on my birthday.
Oh, very nice.
2017. I published the second one December the 14th, 2018, and the plan was to do one every year.
Okay.
Got a bit busy at work. Haven't done it since. So I'm halfway through another one, which I'll tell you about later.
Solid. Now this is not the fantasy one we were discussing.
No. That's
I gotta read Funcular. Is that the other one?
Funicular.
Funicular. What the hell is that?
I'd love to. Can you try and say that again?
Funicular.
Oh, you can say it now because I've shown you how it's said.
Yeah, if you show me how to say it, although it's going to have your accent, but yeah.
Funicular.
Funicular.
It's a Latin word, I believe, which means
probably
rope. I think it means rope.
Okay.
And what it means, it's one of those trains. Do you know where they're joined together with rope, where one goes downhill, one goes uphill?
Yes, I kind of
know.
Have you ever
seen those?
About.
So on a hill, you'll get one that's loaded full of water, and it goes down the hill, and it pulls you the train up the hill. It's called a funicular. It's a Latin word.
Now I really need to read the book to figure out what the hell.
That's probably more interesting than the book.
Don't say that. That's terrible.
That
one is a mystery, right?
Yes,
like
detective.
A detective mystery.
Yes.
We're not going to get into that one because that's not what we read today.
We're not talking about that. Yeah.
What we are here to talk about is room 119, which is kind of like The Shining meets A Christmas Carol. Yes? Does that sound about right to you?
We had Wizard of Oz in there.
Yeah. I'll give a little bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. It kind of spoils it. You got to be careful.
Yeah, do.
All right. Before we get into discussing room 119 and everything else, let us bring in our mystery guest inquisitor. If I can figure out how to do that. Hang on. All right. There we are. And welcome to the party, Brooke.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
We are so happy to have you. Introduce yourself for everybody who is watching and who will be watching this later.
I am Brooke. I am boring, so not much to say.
You hush.
I live in Wales, hence the accent. And I like a lot of books.
Same. Solid. All right. So Brooke read room 119 shortly after I did, right?
Yeah.
Solid. So we are
both... and Brooke read it just after you and called it room 119. Nobody has ever called it room 119.
Well, what is it? It's room 119, isn't it?
Where I'm from in the UK, it's room 119. I would say room 119. But because you called it 119, then on Brooke's review, she called it 119.
I started a thing here.
Yeah.
I think
room 119 sounds weird. Room 119 sounds like someone's gonna get messed up.
Yes,
well,
well, there you go.
Yes. Oh man, I didn't realize you guys like say so many things different.
Well,
so
at first was like 119, but that doesn't have the same thing
that
for
doesn't
either.
sound, yeah. But wait, so it's not the room 119. It's just room 119.
Yeah, and
the
if it was
trader.
And it would be sound better with the voiceover, wouldn't it? It'd be like room 119. You couldn't do that with 119, could you?
No. Room 119, the Whitby Trader.
Yes.
That one. So the Whitby Trader, is that actually part of the title, or is that just like?
It's a subtitle because he's originally from Whitby, and I'm from near Whitby. So I thought, if you're going to write your first ever book, that's where Bram Stoker, Dracula arrived in Whitby. That's where he arrived.
Did he turn into a dog and run up the stairs?
Well, he went up 199 steps to the Abbey, didn't he? I think I read it.
Yeah.
I don't read.
You never read? Oh God, I forgot about that. Holy Moses, Jesus! All right. Well, just so you know, Vlad Dracula is one of my favorite creatures in history. But yeah, I'm pretty sure in Bram Stoker's Dracula, he was hurt and transformed into a dog and ran up the Abbey stairs. That's like all I remember.
And there's 199 steps. I live near Whitby.
Look at you.
There's 199 steps. Well, every time you climb them, you've got to count them. And when you get to the top, you go, that was 197, but it's 100. And there's a Dracula coffin type thing going on in the harbour. Yeah.
I love Dracula things. But we digress. So that's cool. You grew up around Dracula. Solid.
Yeah.
What else? All right, room 19. Trev, so I don't spoil things. How about you give us just a little synopsis about what room 119 is for all of our viewers who have not yet read the book?
Okay, room 119 is about a city trader who ends up getting in a bit of trouble, ends up losing his way, not only in his job, but also in life. He ends up contemplating his life, and then mysterious things happen. He ends up about to kill himself. You've all said that if you've watched any of your videos. And then he gets talked out of it, and then you probably can't explain it from that point on. You've just got to jump. You've just got to jump on the roller coaster, and off you go, don't you?
Yeah, you kind of. That's why I didn't want to do it. I'm like, I'm gonna spoil this for people. I'm still trying to figure out my angle here. Bear with me. But
I literally just had a text about 20 minutes ago from my granddad, I gave him the copy of the book to read. I was like, you have to read this. And he's just sent his text, and he was like, he's in hospital at the moment. So he was like, oh, well, I'm being kept very good company by room 119, not 119. Right. And he's like, but I am on one heck of a ride. What is going on?
Yes,
I was saying, I don't know if reading that in the hospital is I would be tripping.
Good luck,
Yeah.
He's happy, he's keeping him company.
It's definitely a wild ride, let me tell you.
And thanks for sharing it. I mean, because more people read it. I'm not bothered about making any money from this. It's all about people reading it, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
It's spreading your name, especially with your debut novel. You'll make money on the third or fourth one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was I want that copy back.
Yeah. I don't lend out books.
It.
I'm not very good at the lending out because I have this deep rooted fear that they're never going to come back. But I saw those customized embosser, and I think that's the word. We all know I don't know how to pronounce things, but that thing where you go and it just goes from the Library of Kara. I'm gonna have to order one of those. Still not gonna lend my books out though. I'd rather buy one and send it to somebody. All right, let me check my notes. We are about 20 minutes in. We've got, I think, 4 live viewers. It's showing me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
isn't time flying though? Isn't time flying?
It is. It is. That's one of the things. If this is a fun show, it's gonna be 2:30 like that. I'm gonna be like, oh God, I gotta start prepping dinner or something. Hang on. But let me check my notes real quick. You guys can chat.
Hi, Connor, Kira, hello. Hi, Annie. If you're still there. Assume you are. Make sure you put. We'll keep an eye out for the comments, but you're probably already. We're quite a chatty bunch. Yeah. If we miss them, we miss them, but we'll do our best. I'm keeping an eye on them.
Solid. If you see any that I missed,
I'm blind as a bat. Look, so if I do that, I'm keeping an eye on them.
Well, that's why I'm constantly looking into the sun. God forbid I put my glasses on. All right, so for the most part, anybody on my channel will probably have watched my reading vlog, which is the banana pancake one, where I'm like, Jesus Christ, Trev! I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm cursing you out. I hate Dean. If you haven't watched that, I will link it in the description after all of this, and you can see that. There is also a spoiler-free rant and review. The long and short of it is I really loved this book, and I really loved cussing Trev out 1,000 miles away while I read it. Brooke, I've seen your reviews, but how about you tell our viewers what you think of Room 119?
I loved it. There was like this bit at the end, I'm sure you guys will know, and I was like, that's it. I'm not reading the last 50 pages. I was like, I'm not doing it. I dare throw. But it was...
It definitely got thrown for me.
Yeah, it was something else, and I was like, right, that's it. I refuse. This has been ruined. Perfection.
Yeah.
I obviously I know what you're talking about, well, you'll have to go read it. Well, anyone who's watching this, might have to go read it. But I actually had a friend of mine when I was working at an oil company in London, and we had Skype chat, and he was reading it on a lunchtime, and he just, during that part, he Skype chat me and basically went, F off, I'm never speaking to you ever again. I've invested a lot of time in this, and you've gone and done that.
I think I might have actually like messaged you and been like, oh no, I like added you in something. I was like, yo, Trev, piss off.
Yeah.
I was ready to block.
Yeah, we hate you. But you know, that's like how you know it's written well, it's a good read, because you elicited such a response from us.
Oh,
I went from like
emotion.
laughing and crying to like about to board a plane to beat you with your own book.
Yeah.
Everyone cries in different places. I'll let you come on to that because you're asking me questions. But
yeah, well, you can ask us
places.
questions if you have them. It's funny. I think people's tears come according to their own experiences and like what they get from the book. I mean, the whole premise is really about like human nature, choices, redemption, second chances, that kind of stuff. So that definitely hits people.
So on your review, when you've got Scrooge at the beginning, a lot of people have said that. I mean, that wasn't an intention of mine, but
oh yeah, no. I mean, you've seen A Christmas Carol, right?
Yes, I've seen it. Obviously, I haven't read it, but I've
Obviously.
yeah, I've seen that, and I suppose it's got that vibe to it, hasn't it? But until I got when I first put my book out there, it's a bit weird when you put a book out there and you've never written anything.
Apart from, let alone, especially because you don't read.
I don't read, yeah. So apart from my editor telling me it's great, who I'm paying, and my proofreader telling me it's great, who I'm paying,
and your wife is like, well, I gotta live this.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, let's see what it's like. And then when you throw it out and you start getting 5 stars tumbling in, 107 5-stars there is for that book. Very nice.
I think I gave you a 4.
Yes, you did. You did that.
Oh,
it was 4.28. Yeah. Can't do that on the camera, and you did that.
Yeah, so I do that because I like even numbers, and it wasn't a 5, but maybe funicular. How do you say that word?
Funicular.
Maybe funicular will be a 5. Oh, I lost an earbud on that.
Yeah, so it's a bit weird when 5-star reviews come tumbling in, and you're like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? So it was very strange having not read much, and then everybody gave it a 5, and you're like, what? Apart from the first review I got on day 1, minute 1, and I give her the book for nothing on Goodreads, was a 1. I was really happy with that. So that was my first review.
Did she give any like explanations?
Yes, she gave about 3 months worth of explanations, and then she emailed me for the next month.
Stop.
And I was trying to be very nice, and she basically said, how can you possibly write a book when you haven't read enough? So you should go to creative writing classes just like I'm doing and do it properly. That's what I got.
So she was just.
So that was my first ever review. First ever review.
Well, you know what?
Made to put you off?
I don't know. Didn't like me. And then I had another girl. Sorry, I'm taking over the whole thing here.
Oh, no,
I had another girl on Facebook called Gillian Petrie, and she might watch this actually. She's my number 1 fan in the world.
Oh,
and she said this is the best book ever written. She tells everybody, right? No, she's really all over it.
Okay.
And then when she heard about this bad review, she said she was going to go because she's from America. She was going to get a flight to America and kill her.
Oh, well, that's a little extra.
So I was in the middle of all this.
I'm into throat punches. Murder's a different story.
I know. And I'm thinking, well, I'm having to try and deal with this. So, you can imagine, can't you? This will be a book in the future where that really does happen. And they'll be going, they said it. So, crazy.
No.
So I had to calm her down. She still thinks it's the best book she's ever read, but she's willing to let things go a bit more. Well, she lives in Dundee, which is a long way away from here. But
I don't know if you know this, but me and geography, not friends. So.
no, yeah.
I
Anyway,
could do the Lord of the Rings map, but. All right. Well, actually, speaking of reviews, I have actually a note here about the good and bad reviews. So at least
before you do that, Kyra's made a comment. I just want to make sure we're covering
absolutely.
Them. I need to know. I might break up my book buying ban. Oh, she's going to break up a book buying ban. That's probably why I interrupted you.
Oh, to buy funicular?
I don't know.
Or room 119?
Do you know? Let's
19.
I don't want to read it. I can't. I don't want. She's afraid of getting death threats if she doesn't like your book.
Yes, well, she will.
Don't worry, I'll protect you. Well, don't buy it just yet, because at the end of this, we are going to discuss a giveaway. We are going to be giving away 2 copies. So don't break that book buying ban yet. Woo! Say that 10 minutes fast. Woo! Seriously, say it. Book buying ban. Don't break it.
I can't speak as it is.
All right. So what I was saying before was, so your first review was terrible, which is actually kind of better, I think, because you ripped the Band-Aid off. Can't get much worse than that. I'm curious as to like how in depth this woman went. However, like you said, there are so many other 5-star reviews. But while I was preparing for this, I actually wrote some down, so you can react to some of these reviews.
Okay.
Yeah, thank God I was prepared because I was running late today. All right. So the first thing I'm going to get into are the bad reviews. Basically,
here we go.
That's kind of how we started. That was whatever. So the ones that I have written down here, predictable, confusing, hard to connect with the characters, which is definitely like a personal experience thing, I believe.
Yeah.
Pointless plot points, drags. Too much tell, not enough show. Needs to read more books. You got to stop telling people you don't read.
Yeah, but that's from that woman, because she told me I need to read more books, because I told her I'd not read any books.
Yeah, stop telling people that.
No. I'm sure it's going to come up in a bit.
Yeah. I'm shocked by predictable. If anything,
me too.
Is not predictable.
One of the last things in the world I would ever say about this. But I feel like people are just snarky. What else do we have here? Unnecessary detail, over explanation, which is the same thing. Lacking character.
So some of them are due to the writing style, because I've never written, and you said a little bit of that. It could have been longer in parts, could have been slower in parts. Yeah,
we'll get into that. Lacking in character diversity and development. Jodie seems too young. The rated R language. Now,
can I mention about the? Okay, the Jodie seems too young. She was, when I started writing the book, she was 8.
Yes. I think people forget that.
And then no. What happened? She's 15. But when I first started writing the book, she was in my head going to be 8. And then I made her older. Right. So I made Jodie older, and she was going to play guitar like my daughter played guitar.
Instead
of
my
wife said, "Why didn't she play chess?" So I said, "I'll make her older if she's going to play chess." And I made her older, but I probably didn't correct all the bits where she was a bit younger.
Some of like, just like the interaction, but with that, like. For me, A, it's the first book you've ever written. B, you don't read necessarily a lot, but also like Jodie is obviously somewhat molded after Annie, and you are obviously going to see your daughter through rose-colored glasses, and she's going to be 10 in your head forever. Poor Annie. So I think that is a lot to do with that. But all of those like bad reviews I just read off, that is from like Amazon, Goodreads, everything. So that is just a very
there's not many, is there? There's
so
about
that's
6.
not bad. And like Brooke said, and I said, like some of them are a load of crap. That's for damn sure. So yeah, that literally.
Well, I'll just tell you one. One of the best ones I got was this was started this book was going to be a DNF. Then it showed a bit of promise, and I thought it might be a 1-star. Got a little bit better, 2-star. She went. Then, oh my God, 3-star. I was gonna give it a 4-star, but the story's too good; it deserves 5. So that was from a guy in Australia, and he was going to give it a DNF.
Well, that's a solid escalation, a DNF to a 5. But you know what? I can totally see how that makes sense too, because even in the beginning, I'm like, "Fuck off, fuck Dean, fuck this." That's $3 in the swear jar.
Yeah. my mum would say, my mother, she would say, whenever she gives it to anybody, obviously she's very proud, but she would say, can you make sure you read the first 50 pages before you give up on it? Because you've got to get
into it.
He's got to be set up to be like he is. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Right. The story doesn't start until at least probably 85 pages in. But if you don't have those 85 pages to get into Dean's head and his situation and the family, you're not going to know what's going on. You're not going to connect to the story. Like, I'm sorry. Do I seem like I have anything in common with a would-be day trader? And no. Like, listen, the extent of stocks and me was Robin Hood. And I bought stocks in Cara Therapeutic because it's my name. Although I did make money. Not gonna lie.
Well done.
Thank you. And I got out in time.
Like the whole point of the book is a character arc.
Yes.
And so you need
those... a very large redemption arc.
Yeah. So you need those first pages to get and to understand how much you hate those characters.
Exactly.
And then... But it's a complete different story. It's like you've picked up a whole new book.
Switches.
But it's necessary. You can't do an effort.
No. And it's not like the book is like 800 pages and it's reading 300 pages of bullshit like Patrick Rothfuss and The Name of the Wind. Have you read that book?
Oh, yes, of course I've read that book.
Not you. We know you haven't.
I mean, I liked it, but yeah.
So wait, no, I liked it, but I don't need to know how many blades of grass there are, bro. Like, also, his main guy who's like good at everything.
I'm just going to get a beer. I'm not disappearing forever.
You're good. Get your beer. Solid. That's my dude. I forget it's happy hour there. Cheers. Slange. Gin dog.
Happy hour every hour.
Yeah, especially in lockdown, bro. God.
I mean, yeah, that's the excuse.
Right. It's funny. Like, I'm like 90 days into this. And like when it started, I'm like, I'm not going to drink until the sun's down. And then like 3 weeks in, I'm like, okay, it's got to be afternoon. Now I'm like,
and
fuck
now
it.
I'm awake.
I'm like, the sun's up. Look.
Not promoting that at all.
I'm not. Actually, I will say like the first like month and a half was like, woo, staycation. And then after that, I'm like, well, this is fucking annoying.
Bored now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I bought all this wine and now I just look at it. I'm like, I don't actually want you anymore.
I do.
Well, yeah. I mean, it comes in waves. I wasn't going to not have a cocktail with y'all.
I mean, I got squash, but...
You're drinking squash?
Yeah, do you have squash? Yeah.
Like the vegetable?
Oh, no.
I'm like, why are you drinking squash?
I don't know what you call it. Cordial? Is it cordial, though? I don't know. It's something you put in water and it tastes good.
Oh, it's not alcohol?
No.
Cordial.
Trev, what's squash? That's not
cordial.
Vegetable. What the hell? Cardio?
Cordial?
Cardio?
Cordial.
Like a cordial?
Cordial.
Cordial? Yeah.
Cordial.
We used to call it orange squash years ago.
It's a vegetable.
Yeah. Connor,
sorry, Brooke.
Connor, can you tell me what this is? I'm American. For the love of God, explain it to me.
That's what it is.
Speak slowly.
Do you have cordial? Yeah.
It's squash. It's something you water down with water.
So it's like Crystal Light or some nonsense. It's just flavor.
Yes, it's like black currant. You put that much black currant in and that much water in.
Oh, okay. Solid. It's like a concentrated flavor.
That's right. Concentrated stuff.
There's no vitamins or alcohol or anything like that.
No.
Oh, okay. No. Boring.
Just sugar.
Oh, God, I love sugar. All right, so we've got Trev back. He's got his beer. He's got a nice cold one. So we told everybody all the shitty stuff people had to say. So let me tell you some of the good stuff from some of the good reviews.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to leave it there. You're just going to forget about all the good stuff.
I thought about it, and we did get distracted.
Don't ever invite me on your channel ever again.
At least I liked the book.
He's loads of shit stuff about Trev's book. Right, thanks. See you all next week.
Bye.
Brilliant.
And like, just so you guys know, this book was terrible, but there is one woman hiding in the bushes that if you say it's terrible.
From Dundee.
Dundee. That sounds like it's in Australia. God, I gotta brush up on my geography, guys. All right, the good reviews. So, a feel-good ending. It took you a second, and it gave us a heart attack for a minute, but Dean's love of his daughter. That was like a comment I saw several places, actually. I want to say a lot of those comments were were definitely written by people with not so good relationships with their father, so it hit them differently. Filled with humor and intrigue, thought-provoking, pulls on your heartstrings, clever, gripping storyline, twist and turns at every corner, an easy read, and took me by surprise after a wild ride. So there was a plethora of 5-star reviews. However, they were all pretty much the same, but they were all pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was amazed at that. Really, I've got to thank my mother for doing half of them. With different Amazon accounts.
She keeps logging in. She's got like 17 different Gmails. She's logging in and out of.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, I mean, I was quite active, not on BookTube because that's the new thing to me, but I was quite active on Facebook.
And Goodreads. I saw Goodreads a fair amount.
Yeah, Goodreads early doors, but the
Facebook groups definitely help.
Yeah, and quite a lot of Facebook groups invited me in. But you're not the best Facebook groups the best ones are the ones that you're not allowed to advertise on.
Oh God, yeah.
And then
when you sneak in and advertise it, like you see mine the last couple of days, I'm like,
yes. You've got to sort of say, oh, it's just a bit like my book. And then someone says, what's your book? And go, oh, not allowed to tell you. Because it's in the rules. Oh, but just tell me anyway. Oh, no, I better not. Then an admin will come in and go, no, you can this time. And you go, all right, then. And then you give them the whole blurb.
Yeah. The best is like that, or there's like somebody will ask us like a rant, or I'll do it. If I know I've got something I'm going to post in a day or two, I'll purposely go to some of these groups. I'm totally giving away all my secrets, and I'll ask a question. Like I in one of my Star Wars groups, I was like, off the top of your head, real quick, top 5 Star Wars characters, and go. And there's like 400 comments on that. And when I do my Kylo Ren cosplay, I'm gonna go to that post, and I'm gonna put my link.
Look at me. Look at me as this person. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get the flood real quick. So I like to break the algorithm.
I wasn't that good. I wasn't that good at doing that. But then because
I'm shadow banned, so it's not the best.
Yeah. And also I give it we give the Moby copy free to a couple of really big groups, and they give it away for nothing as long as you do a review within a month and a half. Solid. But they track everybody and say, look, if you haven't done a review in a month and a half. On them. Yeah, so they were quite good. And then it snowballs a bit, doesn't it? People just I mean, I sell quite a few now I don't even promote it really. And I just sell books every day really now.
And it's kind of just, it's also like the algorithm helps. Things that I've read will make that pop up. And like, Brooke, you saw it on mine, right? And that's how you and Trev got in contact?
Yeah, I have no idea how I found you.
I think I found you and stalked you about your voice because you sound like the mummy wife. I don't remember her name. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. And you tell me off. They got it. And then I saw your reading vlog first.
The banana pancakes one?
Yeah. And then I was waiting for the review.
Yeah.
And then I commented saying, I really want to read this. It sounds so intriguing. And then I never actually did anything about it because I make a list and then I go and do something about it when I
me too.
Go do that. And then I can't remember if you commented or messaged me on Twitter.
No, what happened? I'm pointing to you with a pen, but I'm pointing to the wrong. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, see, left is right and right is left. Dude, I've been trying to figure out what side is my good side for an hour.
I couldn't do the weather. The weather
you'd
behind
still
me.
get paid.
The weather be like
politicians. You can be wrong 75% of the time and still get paid.
No, I saw your comment, Brooke, on Kara's YouTube saying, "Oh, I'd love to read this book." So I went. Then I contacted you on Twitter and went, "Well, do you want me to send you a copy?"
Yeah.
And you went, "Oh, that'd be nice." So there we go.
Yeah, and here we all are. Well, it's funny because we were just talking about the Facebook groups, and Trev, did you comment on one of my things, or did I comment on one of your things?
You commented on one of mine.
You were giving away, right?
I said, "Does anyone? I want to get into BookTube because I've been watching a few BookTube things." I said, "Does anyone want? Does anyone in the UK want a free book?" Because I thought I don't want to send it to America. And then you commented saying, "I want one, but I'm in America." No, we don't have one then. You're not having one then. That'll cost me a fortune.
Well, we came up with a brilliant idea for Amazon. Instead of you actually shipping it to me, you just bought it on Amazon and Amazon shipped it to me. So it cut out some of the pricing, which was genius. I got it very quickly. I forgot what else I was going to say. I don't know. Oh, I actually have the screenshot somewhere of like the original conversation where I was like, well, I'm in America, but here's my channel. And you watched it and you're like, well, I'm
in America, so you're not going to do that, are you?
Yeah, but you still watch
my channel anywhere.
Yeah.
Subscribed.
See,
Bang.
Most people, I feel like, would be like, all right, well, I'm not going to comment on this because it's a UK only thing. Me, I'm like, fuck off. Here's my channel. And you're like, well, actually, here's my book. And here we all are. Me still trying to figure out angles. Hi.
It's like motion sickness.
Yo, I'm giving myself motion sickness.
I did tell everyone. I did tell everyone before we came in here, but my daughter, if she's still on it, she's just started her own first YouTube channel. But she's a guitarist and bakes cookies and stuff. But she's all over that. So go for Brooke. You already follow her. She went. A friend of yours follows me. Yeah,
I might. I had to check. But what I'll do is after like the live show, this like will post up on the YouTube.
Put Annie down there.
I will.
And she'll have to read my book because she didn't read. She never read a book in life.
Hang on. I've got that in here again.
She agreed.
Yeah. Oh man, Annie's comment's gone. I don't know where it went.
So you've all got to subscribe to her. Get all your friends to subscribe to her. Then what you do is you unsubscribe if she doesn't read it within a month.
And harass her. Yeah.
Ooh. You got it.
Ooh, that's diabolical. But what I'll do is in the description when the live is over, I'll add Annie's channel so she can get a little love from this. But we've yipped and yapped for like 40 minutes.
Okay, that's
But it was fun. This has been a lot of fun. So let's get into some questions, shall we?
If you go.
All right. So first things first, Trev, this is your first book. You are not an avid reader. However, apparently you had a series of dreams and you were like, you know what? I'm going to write a book. First off, why did you decide to write a book instead of like a movie, not being a reader?
Okay. Right. So I was working for an oil company in London. And I went to sleep one night and just had this dream. A bit weird. I'd had a few drinks that night, but then I went to sleep. Couldn't get to sleep. Dreamt being in the top of this cliff. Right. Thought, oh, that's a bit weird. Got up and had a drink of water. Couldn't sleep. Went back to sleep. It carried on. And what happened? I was never really asleep, but never really awake. I was in that in-between bit.
Okay.
So I was banging my head on the pillow saying, can you stop doing that in my head? And so I had about 7 or 8 of these. Got to sleep at 5 a.m. That's how long
all on the same day.
Went on. Yeah, same night. Yeah. Went to work and then I was talking to a girl who sat opposite me and said, you won't believe what happened to me last night. So I told her the story, which took me about 15 minutes. And then she went, oh my God, you got to write that down. I says, why? And she went, well, you should write that as a book. I said, well, I'm not going to, am I? But what I did do is, because I'm good in Microsoft Word, I typed the bullet points in Word.
Great
thinking,
idea.
well, at least they've got them. And then what happened over time, that six months have gone by, but I've been telling that story every time I've been out for a beer or I eventually
throw a couple back and you're like, hey, last time I was drinking.
It wasn't quite that, but yeah. And then what happened is I went to my mother-in-law's with my wife and they had some friends around and Claire, my wife, went, why didn't you tell them about that dream you had? So I told them all about it and they were going, oh my God. And the clown's in there and then this happens and that happens. And I didn't dream all of it. But by the time I've been telling it that many times, then bullet points have been filled out by loads of made-uppy stuff.
You're like, oh, this is a good part.
Yeah.
Like,
so I was just elaborating.
Liberty.
Yeah. So I was elaborating on them bits and filling the gaps in. I actually found the bullet points I originally made. There's about 12 of them. And there's a lot happens that were in that. And I'll tell you one thing, that beginning bit that you tell me about, the first bullet point happens at the top of the cliff. That's the first part of the dream. So none of that other stuff's all made uppy to get to a point where someone could be like that.
So all the shit we were like, well, there's 85 pages you have to read through. That's why it took so long, because Trev made uppy stuff. Yeah, Hatchet's here to join us.
Hello, Hatchet. So yeah, we and then what happened is my wife said to me, I said, our friends who was with my mother-in-law, they went, you should write that as a book. I went, oh yeah, everyone says that. And Claire went, and I love Claire dearly, but she did go, he won't do it because he never finished anything he starts. And that was New Year's Day.
Okay. Solid
2nd of Jan, what you doing? Write my book.
Ooh, you're like, ha ha.
Yeah, but not really. Not really. I think if Claire hadn't said that, I wouldn't have done it.
She lit the fire under your ass. She straight up called you out.
And I wrote it in 3 months.
That's not bad at all.
So I wrote it in 3 months, but then spent about another 3 months
editing.
Me editing because I'm dyslexic. I got an E in English, and I was a bit more embarrassed about giving anything to an editor. So I found this editor on Twitter who's fabulous, and she didn't judge me for my English and things like that. She just edited it.
Solid.
And cried her eyes out. Contacted me and she went, "My God."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she cried during editing it, and she went, "I don't do that. It's my job." And and
I cry for all my books. Apparently.
she did a fabulous job though, because she moved it into 5 parts, and she actually moved a lot of the chapters around. I wrote I wrote 127,000 words of getting it out of my head. She gave me back, I think it's 97,000.
Okay.
30,000 words out, and I don't think she's took one bit of content out. It was me not being a reader.
Seem like there's anything missing.
Yeah. So what I was doing, being not a reader, I would assume that you need you readers, pointing at you both, can do that. No, I can't. That you readers. I was assuming you needed. My editor went, "You think your readers are thick? They're not. Tell them once, they'll go back. Don't tell them twice." I was telling you things 3 or 4 times, thinking, "If I don't tell you again, you won't get this bit." And she just stripped all that out.
It depends on the reader, but for the most part, the important things we pick up. And then, like, I have notes because I do the reviews and stuff. So you've got all different kinds of readers with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So she was really good. I mean, and it was the back end I needed, because all of a sudden she went, "This is really, really good." And then I got a proofreader after that. She bawled her eyes out. And then them two spoke and went, "Oh my God, he's got something really good here." And I'm going, yeah, like I said at the beginning, they're just telling me that, So until it got out, then people started liking it. But my editor did say, yeah.
Amazing.
I think that means she gets 50% royalties.
Yeah, well,
to do as she pleases.
She does, doesn't she?
Good.
She gets that being with me.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's got to lock you in a room sometimes, I bet, though. If you're anything like Dean, whoa.
Oh yeah, be gone. If I was anything like Dean, I wouldn't be with her, would I?
Oh yeah,
I'm very lucky to have her.
I would have kicked you off the cliff, bruh.
Yes. So I mean, the best thing that happened amongst all that episode was that my editor said, she went, "If anything, don't read too much, because your writing style, your writing style is so unique, and so you're just telling it like a film." Which is how I see it. I see it like a film.
I say you're right. The way, like, you can tell by the way, like, the reading is, like, you're just writing how it's in your brain, as if you were watching the story. Yeah, that's how you write it, which is, I thoroughly enjoy.
And then she also said, and she went, "And you write with so much pathos, right?" And I thanked her. Then I googled pathos.
I would say then you googled the word, right?
Yeah, didn't have a clue what that meant.
Just don't mind me Google.
What?
Everybody who's watching the future is now googling pathos. Going, well,
someone comment for me. Yeah,
I think
like
it was
Thanos.
I think it was like the feeling I get in the words, and there's a couple of points where you do cry, isn't there? So you could cry.
Yeah, and like we said, like I don't remember if we were live when we were talking about that like the cry points are so different for everybody according to like what their experiences are. So basically it was one dream that you built off of, and bing bang boom, we've got this story. So you said yes, we're going to go to you in 1 second, but before I forget, you said it took you 3 months to write it. From the day you started writing it to the day it was literally published and you could put it in somebody's hands. How long did that take?
That was a bit longer because I had to wait for my editor.
You're self-published, right?
Yeah, so I probably spent 6 months writing it, because 3 months
editing,
3 months to type in the end. And then 3 months of just correcting a few things, right? It took us
3 months to read the end because we didn't want to.
And then it went to the editor. She took a couple of months, and then it went to the proofreader. She took a month. It actually got published January the 2nd. Started writing it.
Connor for the win.
January the 2nd, and I published it on December the 14th. So, but I chose to publish it late as well because I wanted to publish it on my birthday. So I did it on pre-order for about 3 or 4 weeks.
That date is something. I thought we already discussed that. So that's solid. Yeah. So less than a year. That's not bad at all. All right, Brooke.
I was just going to say, obviously with the book, there is a lot of messages in it, and that's kind of what makes the book so unique. If there was one thing for a reader of this book to take away, what would you want them to take away from it?
Okay. I would say that's a good question. Right. I feel like I'm on Parkinson. You haven't got a clue what Parkinson's is, Cara, probably. But
the disease?
Eleanor DeGeneres. It's not the disease, no.
I know who Ellen DeGeneres is.
Well, our interviewer is Parkinson, or it used to be.
Oh, it's a name.
Yes.
Ah.
I would say that, and I can't say too much because I don't want to give anything away, but I quite like the fact of who was helping him back, and I've had a lot of comments about that bit, and you two know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
So
we can say a little bit. So there are a group of people Dean, our main character, encounters throughout the story that help along the plot, as well as Dean's complete arc, basically. For me, I didn't want to use that word because I didn't want to throw anything off. But so the guides are actually my favorite part of the whole friggin' story.
Yeah.
Solid. Brooke, more questions for him.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Loads of these were answered, so I've got to pick what hasn't been answered already.
Yeah, I figured like while we were just kind of like shooting the shit, we would answer a lot of questions.
Oh yes, there are a lot of deep and emotional scenes in the book, as we have said numerous times. How did you write those? Like, did you have to get yourself into the mood to write them? And if you did, what did you do?
No,
did you
that's
cry?
the thing. Do you know what? I'll tell you about the cry bit in a minute, but when the weird thing about, I don't know how anybody else writes. I don't know any writers, right? How I write is as I'm writing, and I've already said this, I see it like a film in my head. So as I'm getting to the end of a chapter, I'm going, oh, and then this would happen next, and then I'm already seeing it in my head, and it seems a bit strange. And then all the emotional bits, I'm just doing them at the time. If anything, I don't get emotional during them.
It's rereading them.
I didn't get emotional rereading them too much, to be honest. Other people do. Tell you when I did, when I heard the audiobook.
Oh, okay.
Because all of a sudden it was as if I hadn't then written it. Because when you're reading it, I know what's coming. Yeah. But all of a sudden, when someone's reading it and putting emotion into it, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm bawling my eyes out going, but I'm thinking, well, I wrote that. I knew what was going to happen. I'm thinking, I wonder what's going to happen. I'm going, I know what's going to happen. Because I made it happen.
Yeah, you're like, I did this. Why?
It sort of separated, the audiobook separated it from me reading it. Whereas before, and I suppose when you're reading it, especially when you're editing it, or when you're reading it, just thinking, I'll just have a quick look at that. You're not really concentrating because you're in that point where I've written it, and you just your eyes are flying over it. You're not emotionally invested in it, are you? Because it's not your first time. Right. Whereas the audiobook was my first time. So when I was proofreading the audiobook chapter by chapter as she sent me it, I was like in bits, going, my God. Can't believe this has happened. So that's when it hit me. Yeah. It
hits differently when you hear it. The receptors are differently. And especially like if the voice actress gets emotional, whether she's that good of an actress or if she gets emotional while she does the reading. Like I can't tell you how many times I cry for every friggin' goddamn book I read, apparently. But I can only imagine trying to like say the lines while I'm reading I'm like, I mean,
I was special as well. When she cried in the thing, I thought, oh, I'm dead special. And she went, I cry everything. I'm going, all right, you've just ruined that whole video.
Sorry, buddy. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. I don't like the real world doesn't make me cry. Like the Titanic didn't make me cry. The Notebook didn't make me cry. I don't give a fuck. Throne of Glass, cried. Room 119, cried. Nightingale. Well, actually, the Nightingale is miserably depressing. I don't know.
You mentioned the Night Circus, right? So the Night Circus came out about the same time as my book. It was getting bandied around a lot when my book came out.
A little similar, I will say. Not the writing style, but kind of like the timeline.
I hate the Night
Circus. Yo, me and Erin Morgenstern do not get along at all. She is frilly and annoying. However, I do enjoy Maribel from the Starless Sea. It's the only thing I like about her.
I picked it up. I read about 4 chapters and was like, no, I can't do this to myself.
It's just watch my review. You'll be fine. I dressed up.
So my book has been compared to that a few times, but I think it's mainly because there's the circus and it's at night.
Yeah, okay, so I will say when the circus part came out, I'm like, this is gonna get weird.
There
Instantly.
is a circus part, and it is a bit weird.
Yo, when that happened, I'm like, oh, for the love of God. I'm like, this is definitely gonna like disappear in the morning and things are gonna get strange. And then we met the clown, and I'm like, no, Trev. I think that was the first time where I was like, no.
I don't know if my book did my book come out before that, or did
I don't know. Hang on.
Someone Google it. Connor,
I
get
got
on
it
that.
right here. I'll look at the thing.
Connor.
Connor, you're our man in the chair. Like, if we're superheroes.
We've got people who we can give tasks to. Connor, go find out when that was
Connor's
published.
our man in the chair. 2011 is.
Oh, 2011. Oh,
2011 time ago.
I must have copied it then.
I didn't even hear about the night circus until somebody sent it to me. But like the circus is only like this much of room 119 until it's. I'm not going to say anything else. So. But yo, you did introduce the clown, and I think that was the first time I went to the social media and went, "Yo, Trev, piss off!" Like, clowns don't.
A lot of people don't like clowns,
me.
do they? A lot of people don't.
Well,
like
no,
clowns.
see, like clowns don't bother me, but when a random clown's going to show up in my daughter's bedroom and just play chess at night, I'm like,
I'm very surprised that my daughter's probably not on anymore, but if she was on, because I'm not scared of. Do you know what I'm scared of? I'm not scared of clowns.
Spiders. You're afraid of spiders.
No, I'm all right. I'm not great with spiders, but I'm not massively scared of them. But I'm scared of balloons.
Balloons? Shut up.
Really? Yeah.
Like blowing them up and they're going to pop.
No, I can't blow them up because they might pop. And then
that makes sense.
There was some behind me the other day, and I'm just like, I can't sit.
So
straight.
have you seen like the movie It? I mean, we know you didn't read.
I've seen the first It, the first one.
The first ones are better. You have to watch the second ones you just have to. But watch them.
The first one terrible. Second one's great.
I'm ready. Okay,
Of
ready.
the new ones?
Connor's ready, but I think he's ready to tell us it's 2011.
Oh, Connor, is it 2011?
We give him a task and then did the task ourselves.
Our man in the chair. I happen to have the book next to me because I'm in my reading room.
Because you hate it that much, yeah. I hate this book, but I've got it next to me.
It's on the shelf of shame. Yeah,
I got rid of it faster than lightning. I was like, "You're out."
I'm a hoarder, and it's pretty. It looks good.
I had
the shelf.
a beautiful edition, and I still was like, out right now.
But like I said, it's on the shelf of shame with the name of the wind, by the way.
I love it.
Like, it's you know, the worst part about the name of the wind is I actually really did like the book, but like I also don't.
But isn't it good that you all like different stuff, though? I mean, life would be boring, wouldn't it? I mean, when someone doesn't like my book, there's not many bad reviews I got for my book. But when there is one, if someone reached out to me saying just didn't get it, I'll just go, that's fine. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think,
like, listen, sometimes I don't like mushroom on my pizza, and sometimes I do. Everybody's got different tastes.
You've got to be very open-minded in this book. And like when I gave it to my granddad to read, I was like, just open your mind.
Just
let it go. Yeah.
Well,
I've gifted it to like 4 people by now. Like
the next book you need to be the next book you need to be more open-minded.
That's
absolutely crazy.
How is that word again?
Funicular. You nearly got it there.
Funicular. Funicular. That's a funny word. Funicular.
I've got it downloaded to read. I just haven't quite done it.
That's the funicular. That lift there is a funicular.
It looks like a spaceship.
One goes up, one goes down.
Spaceship.
See?
Oh, like
beam me up, Scotty.
It's on a hill, generally Victorians, and one goes down because it weighs more than the one going up. Yeah.
Funicular.
Anyway, yeah. Hope you got your head on right for that one.
Just because of the way it. I gotta get in there. But let's get back to the room 119 questions.
Well, let's go.
Let's see. So, okay. So back to the guides real quick. Were the guides originally part of the dreams or no?
No.
So
a good addition.
Yes, definitely.
I friend of mine, because I rented a flat in London, a friend of mine stayed with me, and I'd run a few ideas past him while I was writing it. And I said, I'm going to do this. And he went, oh, that's not a very good idea. No, they were.
Jack? Is this friend Jack?
No, there were people in the dreams that I had.
Okay.
But I turned them into
guides.
A bunch of people, yes. And that idea was, the guy actually came back to me and said, no, I don't think that'll work. I'm going, well, I'm putting it in anyway.
You're like, piss off.
Yeah.
So out of the guides, are there certain guides that are based off of real people, not just dreams and ideas, but like, is
the
there...
only one?
Okay.
The only one is my wife's dad is called David. My father-in-law is called David. So I based the barman on him. So all of his looks.
I like the bartender.
especially when he's older. I can't tell you too much, but when he's older, he looks identical to a couple of pictures I've seen of Claire's dad.
That's awesome. I will say, like, I don't want to spoil things, but certain
and I'll tell you one more thing.
Yes.
Sorry, tell you one more thing. And at the wedding, which I can't tell you much more about either.
Spoil things.
But the Mask Fisherman's Choir, who
that's
sing
real.
sea shanties, they're real. And I asked permission because I know them because I'm from Mask. So I asked permission of them and give him a copy of the book. The guy who runs them now, and there's one guy who gets up. And it says, right, now Mick's going to give you Grimsby Lads. That's all it says. Mick is going to give you Grimsby Lads. My dad sang Grimsby Lads in the choir on their first record. On their first record, and my dad's not here anymore. So I thought I'll just put that in for my dad.
That's awesome.
So nice.
I figured that there was tribute in it as well. Anybody who reads it would.
I can't tell you too much, but you're going to ask me about a film soon. And when the film comes up, I'm going to play my dad in the film.
Yeah. I was going to say, you have to play like one of the characters. I was going to say the barman, but since it's actually your father-in-law, you better make him actually be.
He's my real dad. That's my real dad who and he's dead
in the choir. So
I will probably
the choir scene is actually one of my favorites. I cried. It's definitely one of my cry parts. So I'm like weirdly emotional with music. I listen to I read I read Game of Thrones, but I finished Throne of Glass recently, and there's a girl who purposely she creates music for books, and she did a dirge for a character that dies that I didn't know dies because it's not in the book that I just read, it's in the next book, so that was a spoiler. Anyway, I came across the dirge. It's like 3 minutes, and by 20 seconds in I was sobbing. That's this morning, by the way.
Wow.
So music gets to me, but that whole scene was a big get your own beer, Trev. That scene was a big one. I loved that scene. But the fact that your dad was actually part of that choir is boss. We will get into the discussion about the film in a second. Brooke, do you have any questions?
I do.
Good.
This is not about the book specific, because I feel like
anything. Talk about whatever you want.
But obviously, this is your first novel. I want to know the hardest part about writing it, and did you ever almost give up genuinely? Was there always a moment?
Thanks, Claire. Can we thank Claire?
Thank you, Claire.
Thank Claire. You got a round of applause, Claire.
I don't have another hand, so I'll do it on my head.
Can you just repeat that question? Because I was too busy thanking Claire.
That's okay. What was the hardest part about writing your first novel, and was there a moment that you almost gave up?
Okay. I'll answer the second part first. No, there wasn't a moment where I was quite driven by it.
He was trying to tell his wife to piss off. I can do this.
The first bit, though, and I've touched upon this, but it's a very good question. I got an E in English. I wasn't allowed to do.
Is that an F in my world?
It's just below an F. It's not fail. You're just better than fail.
Yeah, don't mind my Darth Vader look.
Pass, but you didn't fail. Yeah,
I got.
I was try again.
I was the first ever year. And you won't understand this, Cara, but I was the first ever year of GCSEs, right? And so it just gone from O level from CSE to GCSEs. So I got an E in English because nobody could read my writing, basically. And it was but it's not now. I've done calligraphy since, and it's gorgeous now.
But
it's
one or the other. Still
used to be terrible. It's still terrible if I write fast, but I can write in cards really, really pretty and stuff like that. You probably see. I didn't sign your books. I sent it you, didn't I? I signed your book, Brooke.
You did.
And it was gorgeous. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But it didn't used to be when I was a kid. And so I got an E in English, and then I wasn't allowed to do English literature, which might be why I don't read.
I said that's why you don't read.
Because my handwriting was so bad, I had to go to handwriting classes to learn how so people could read my handwriting. Yeah. So because of that, I then joined the RAF, the Royal Air Force. I did an IQ test. It was through the sky, and they were like, "I've been told I'm thick all my life through school." So
does that mean thick, you're dense, or thick?
Yes, a bit stupid.
It's not I would say it's not a compliment.
No, and then since
thick
then,
is a compliment in this
no,
country.
It's not a compliment over here. And so obviously everyone I thought that about myself. Joined the RAF, got a bit more confidence, realised I wasn't.
How long were you in the service?
9 years.
Woo!
And then I learned computers. Bit of a geek on computers, always was.
You did that after the service.
Well, during,
bit,
and I was
yeah.
good on computers at school, but
Cool.
nobody thought I was.
That
They
makes
thought I
sense,
was
yeah.
cheating, you see. And then, and I'm probably borderline dyslexic, although my proofreader says I'm not. I just can't spell, but I spell things different every day. So
Yeah.
the hardest part, going back to your question, was having the confidence to give it to somebody without them saying, "Oh my God, what the hell is this?" And luckily, I found a lovely editor who just fixed it all. She just fixed it all instead of going, "Why have you spelt that different in five different sentences?" And why have you? What I didn't understand, and this is weird. Claire bought me a book which I still haven't read. She bought me what's he called?
Who would have thunk?
Who's the American lawyer type geezer?
Johnny
Grisham.
Oh,
John Grisham.
Yeah.
John Grisham, right? She bought me a John Grisham book for holiday and didn't read it, obviously, because I don't. And then when I was writing my book, do you know when people talk and it goes, and then Cara then spoke to Brooke and she said, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah.
the in between the dialogue.
Okay. I thought you always had to say he said or she said and he said and she said.
I knew you were going to say that.
So until we got to the point where I opened it, I was writing, I was down London. I'm about 5 chapters in at this point, and I've been going, he said this, but I wasn't saying he said, she said.
That's
I was
why they
coming
took
up
out
with other ways.
30,000 words.
Yeah. No, I fixed this because I looked in the John Grisham book, and then I established that as long as 2 people are talking,
we know
you can just have the talking.
Yeah.
And that was like groundbreaking for me. I'm going, I don't have to say that he said, she said crap ever again. As long as there's not 3 people in the room, I'm good to go.
Even then, you can kind of do it because, like, the way if you develop your characters and the way they speak enough, you can still.
Yes.
Whew, I had opened another bottle because
Yeah. So that was difficult.
I did not finish a whole bottle in an hour, by the way. I just finished last night's bottle.
So Brooke, showing that to somebody was nerve-wracking, but luckily I found someone who's very good at.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Looking at him. Yeah. She saw the story before she saw the content. What she did say on Funicular, though, she went, "Your writing is 1,000,000 times better." But I have read a bit since.
Okay. Yeah, your writing has to be better.
You've had
write something called Funicular.
Yeah, she only took 4,500 words out of Funicular instead of 30.
Ooh!
Yeah.
But you know what? So, what's the time difference between writing Funicular and the other one?
It's the same, isn't it? Because it came out on December the 14th, 2018. A year later. So I started again January.
1 year later.
Finished about March, April, and then did the same thing.
Solid. I have a question. I know, this might be sensitive. You can totally not answer it. This is one of those options. Remember, we were like, you can get 2 passes and a lifeline. Okay. I'm curious, the publishing process as a self-publisher, what did publishing run you? Like I said, you totally don't have to answer this question, but I know that there are lots of budding writers that want to self-publish, but there's always that fear of the bankroll and the work and everything else.
Right. The beauty, and I'm amazed you. So do you know you're amazed at some things I don't know about reading? Right? Yeah. And then I'm amazed. I'm amazed you're not sure how this works now. Didn't used to work like this, right?
Oh, okay.
How it works now is, yes, the editor cost me. Yes, the proofreader cost me.
Obviously. Yeah.
Once it was ready, luckily because I'm an IT geek, I formatted it for Kindle. I formatted it myself for paperback.
You saved yourself a bunch of money.
Yes. So I did those 2 things, and it's actually free to publish on Amazon. You don't do a print
on Amazon, because
it's print on demand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that lovely cover that you both commented on, I went for the matte cover, which I think a lot of people don't go for. But because it was dark, I think if it was color, it maybe wouldn't look so good. But because all my books, all my 2 books so far, are dark with a splash of color.
I like that they match. I'm a big I'm big on my aesthetics for my shelves. Yeah. I like that your books match. That's a big thing for me, and
and that will happen forever, won't it? And I came up with both the covers as well. Actually, Claire helped me with the first cover.
I'm looking for the book. I have it somewhere.
The second cover was easy because
you already kind of had the.
Well, that's a mile away from where I live. Where that is. It's a real picture.
This one or the funicular.
No,
so this is a real picture. This is not like
this is a real picture.
Oh, funicular is.
That's a real picture.
I thought this was a real one. This one reminds me of the Wanderer.
I'll tell you something about him, right, at the train station. When we first
Can we tell people who he is? Because I didn't know who that motherfucker was till the end. No, let's not tell people who he is.
You're not allowed to tell him who it is.
I don't know. We won't. Because I didn't know. I was like, oh, shit. No joke. Like, I closed the book and looked at the cover and went, oh.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you something about him. When we first, I got a cover art guy who I liked a lot of his cover stuff off Twitter, and I said, right, I want a guy with a fedora and a cane. And when he first gave me the fedora and cane, man, and we had a train station, it was facing the other way of the train station. He was about 4 foot tall.
Shut up!
And he was a little fat guy. He was a little fat guy, right? But what he did do, it's the same guy. He's just stretched him out.
Him. Oh, yeah, he's much better stretched out, let me tell you. Oh, I would say one of his kneecaps is going backwards.
Yeah, well,
it's because
there's no rules. There's no rules.
Well, especially for that guy.
Yeah, so he and we said we need him taller. And Claire, genius, you probably haven't seen it on the book, but it says do not light here because that's Cockfield Station where he's not allowed to get off.
Oh yeah, right here.
Says,
that's
do not alight here.
Down a light.
Yes.
What does that even mean? Do not
alight. A light, is it? Yeah, it's a British term, I think. It means do not get off.
Yeah, get off.
Don't get off. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Or get off. So a light.
Yeah, a light is get off.
Yeah.
Do not alight would be.
So that's the closed down train station in the story.
That train station does exist in real life. Googled it. I tell you what, what's great about that as well.
You wrote that in the back of the book, right? You told us that was real.
Yeah,
or I Googled it, but I knew that was real.
You don't have to research much more, do you? You can just get on. So whenever I was stuck for something, I was just like, oh, wonder what that is. Oh, it's that.
Well, you got to be careful.
So, you do.
3 articles.
Yeah, you've got to be careful, but at least. Bearing in mind, I was making this up. It didn't have to be based on the truth, but that is a disused.
That's the best part about
train
fantasy,
line,
man.
Yeah.
Although this is definitely not. I mean, it's fantastic, but it's not fantasy. It's more.
No.
What, Brooke? What the? I'm not so good at this genre thing. What would you actually call this? Not you, Trev. Brooke.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Good point. Don't know.
It's like
I mean. It's fantastical, but not fantasy.
It's supernatural, but
paranormal, but not paranormal.
Wouldn't it be contemporary? I've been told it's contemporary fantasy or urban fantasy. Urban fantasy.
Maybe urban paranormal.
Paranormal fantasy. I mean, this is one of those books that isn't a genre. It's taglines.
It's just the Whippy Trader. That's just what it is.
It's just, this is the book, and here are the tags attached, but it's not one genre.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know how you would shelf this. Where would you shelf? You'd have to put it in one of those. Yeah, one of those. Here we are. We're featuring the author.
I would imagine the second one's a very similar genre. So after I've written 10, you could shelf them together, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, that would be an author feature. It would make everybody's life easier, especially since you're a genius and all your covers are this similar. But it's it's not even just the matte; it's the way it feels. It's so
unbelievable.
It's like velvet. We're big on the aesthetics of our books, Trev.
I liked it when I got it. And there's nothing better as an author than receiving. I ordered 3 proof copies. 3 proof copies you get free. Well, no, you got to pay the postage. Whoa. And I got them, and I was at work, and I went down to the mail office and got them. And then I did the old film myself opening the book.
Oh,
and I thought these are quite nice. Yeah.
You better post it on your Instagram or whatever.
It was years ago. I mean, I got them I got them around.
Footage still works.
When did I get them? October 2017, something like that.
That's awesome.
There's nothing better than opening a set of books that you've just.
Yeah, that's like a different feeling. We don't know how that feels. Yeah. Brooke, are you a writer at all?
No.
Ooh, speculative fiction.
Ooh, could be.
Yeah.
All right, good looks, Kira.
I mean, I'm not a writer. I write for personal pleasure.
Yeah, but you're not
at all.
I feel you.
You'll never see it.
Have you written, Cara?
I have stacks of notebooks of just all sorts of. You can imagine the psychobabble that I come up with. Yes, I write. Will anybody ever see it? I don't know. If you do, you did a video thing where you were dressing up again for some strange reason today.
On your myth taker thing as a pirate woman, and I was write
a mercenary?
Right? Did you write that beginning part to that?
Oh yeah, that's all me.
Right. Well, you should write a book then, shouldn't you?
Right. Well, so what's really funny when I was coming up with Serafina. I loved the character and the backstory that I came up with, and I do all the editing too. So as I'm doing the editing, even though it's only like 5 minutes of that story, it took me 5 hours to do everything. Especially that, I don't know if you saw that, Brooke, but it's a different world. But while I was doing that, I spent so much time in the story that I've developed an entire world and story, and I have actually started writing that. But the funniest thing is, yeah, just to get it down.
Because I've started writing it too, and I'll beat you to it because I know how.
Oh, you already wrote my story. Wait, so I actually had like this one idea where like I wanted to like I'm not a writer, but I'd like to write kind of thing. Where how great would it be if like the three of us did 3 points of view for the same story? We have the same exact synopsis, the same world, the same map, the same story, same bullshit, but we are writing 3 different points of view from the same story.
I mean, I'm just going to say don't bother reading my part, but yeah, great.
Watch, her part's the best. You're the character everybody likes. That ain't me.
Try me best.
We're gonna have to discuss that later on. But let's get back to questions. We're like an hour and 15 minutes in. I just want to check with you guys. How are you on time? Can you hang for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I'm okay for another 20 minutes, half an hour.
Solid. I'm gonna say like 20 minutes, and we'll
20 minutes
check out.
Them.
I like it. We don't want to oversaturate the market. We'll come back on here for a funicular.
Well, we'll just do part 2.
Yeah, part 2. But we write our stories from 3 points of view. Honestly, we might have to do that. Get like the people in the live chat to like make decisions. Oh my god, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. Live action Dungeons and Dragons, and then we write.
I used to love them books. I didn't remember them when you were a kid. I mean, I say
Dungeons and Dragons.
I've not read anything.
They're manuals.
I've not read anything, but I like them.
books.
No, I like the books where you could, when I was a kid,
choose your own adventure.
Yeah, and you get a page 23. It said, "Do you want to kill the dragon or do you want to run away?" And you go, "Run away." Go to 87, and then you're dead.
Yeah, you almost die all the time. Oh my god, choose your own adventures are the best. See, now I've never had like a physical choose your own adventure book. I didn't know those existed, but I do like them online. How do you even do that? You just go to different pages.
Yeah, it would say go to this page if you want.
I gotta get one of those.
Are you gonna slay the dragon or are you gonna run around the corner?
Run away with the princess.
Yes, run away with the princess.
You're gonna be the bard.
The closest I got to that was in a science textbook in school when someone was obviously bored writing notes and you had to go to different pages. It wasn't actually a book.
It was a thing. Back in the day, it was a thing.
I gotta look into that because that actually sounds really awesome. But the Choose Your Own Adventure books, like there's a lot of them online. And for, I want to say maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, they were very popular. And the coding for it, I actually like taught myself. And it was way easier than I thought it would be. But like I have the attention span of a 6-year-old, so... I don't know.
What was clever about them books is it didn't just have one or two paths.
No, there's so many. It's like playing a video game.
It would dive you back into the main story. It would dive you back into where you were, so you didn't have to write 10 different stories. You'd always end up at the bridge.
Yeah, well, that was the joy of like when you did it. Yeah, that's the joy of like when you wrote those things with the coding online. Yeah. You didn't have to write all the crazy shit. The coding did it for you, which was solid. Yeah. You just wrote the story and it directed people. But I don't see those often. No, all right, Brooke, more questions, love.
Do you have anything new in mind for the future? I know.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of writing one, actually. It's been done, actually, which is a bit annoying because
story of my life.
I wrote it before that it was done, but it won't be done like I've done it. So I've written, I'm 26,000 words into, but I was 24,000 words into 6 months ago. So I've just picked up again. I've had to reread the whole thing. And I've got an extra 2,500 words without getting any further.
Just because you change things within it.
But I've nearly caught myself back up again, so I'll be writing new stuff soon. And it's all about, and I know it's been done, but it's about an escape room.
Everything's always been done at one point in time. Like, there are no new ideas.
But my escape room, right?
See, I trust yours. Well, maybe I don't.
My escape room is where...
Maybe I don't like your escape room, actually.
I'm not going to call it escape room. I'm going to call it reunion, I think. I don't want to call it escape room and jump on that. So it's a university reunion where they all receive, what happens is they all receive a card, various people, and it's different stories. There's sort of quite a few different stories going on. They receive a card inviting them to a reunion and they're going to go to an escape room, right? And none of them have seen each other 10 years since university. I've got to make up the university bit because obviously I didn't go to university, but I'll make all that bit up. And then they end up in this pub. They get told to meet in this pub. That's what the invite says. And then in the pub, there's a card to open. They all think each other have set it all up and they're working out, but they haven't got much time to talk to each other. And then they open this card, which do not open till everyone's here. they've all got clues inside their cards. They've got to find out where the escape room is. They get to an escape room, and then it moves on. But the good thing that I'm excited about is that they're in an escape room for an hour with no phones. So I can do whatever I like outside that escape room.
I mean, yeah. Modern technology can ruin books because you just think, well,
yeah. I found a way of getting the phone off them, haven't I? So because of that,
no escape room in the phone.
I can do what I like.
Reading Harry Potter, like, all right, it was written in the 90s, but even then, there is still technology where, like, some of the things I'm like, hey guys, just simple things like, if I took an AK-47 to Voldemort, would he survive? Probably not.
No.
Sometimes human solutions work.
My 19th book was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which I read while cycling.
Oh, you're up to 19 books? Oh my God, I'm so proud of you.
Yes, I am, yeah. And when I listened to that, and Stephen Fry could read the phone book, couldn't he?
I've read 19 this year, Trev. Come on.
But I know, shut up. Right, all right. Calm down. But
it's a slow year for me.
The thing is about that, I was amazed how much, and I'll go back to what I was saying earlier on, how much he said, she said. He said gloomily, she said brightly, he said this. And I thought, this is absolutely awful writing and I thought, this isn't very good. Love the story, but I think that's a bit treating me like a child, right? And then someone pointed out it was written for children. And I went,
it was like, it's definitely like middle grade books, but I also think that's an excuse to like let her off the hook for being a new novice.
Everything said
shitty writer.
Instead
like,
of saying
I love the world and the story, but I never thought the writing was beautiful, which is like Erin Morgenstern. I hate her and I hate her books, but her writing is beautiful.
Right. So
the writing is fine.
When it says she would say nearly every time, he said gloomily. So she would just use a different phrase after the said.
With a different adjective.
I would get rid of the said. I would not try and use two saids in 3 paragraphs running, you know.
Well, you learned you got 300,000 words taken out of something from all your he said, she said.
And maybe she'll learn. She's not learning at the moment.
We've given up. Honestly, I will say I don't want to talk about this because I avoid the bullshit. I'm here for the escapism, but I never in a million years was like, J.K. Rowling's the best writer ever. I loved Harry Potter. I loved the world it was. I grew up with it, and that was what it was. But it was never like, who's your favorite author? J.K. Rowling. Like, never.
No.
Anne Bishop, Tamora Pierce, Nalini.
I like the films.
The films are, I mean, they're all, it's just nostalgic. It's my child, and it was like good parts. Like the magical, and it helped like growing up, kind of being the nerdy, weird kid, to have things to associate with. Like, I don't know, but never once was I like, J.K. Rowling's my queen.
So I love the story. I thought the writing was a bit weak, but then someone did point out it is written for kids, and I'm going, fair enough, I'll let it go.
But there's other kids' books that are written on totally different levels. Like that's just an excuse letting her off the hook for being a relatively like
I'm assuming writer. Well, I'll let you know because I'm going to try and listen to all of them eventually, and I'll let you know when I get further in. If she hasn't grown up a bit with the writing and it's just the same, then I'll be a bit disappointed, to be honest.
It definitely helps. I will say I haven't reread the books in like 10 years,
but she'll get better. Like I think I've got better. So
because the characters get older, her writing gets, it's almost like she stops being afraid to write certain things. You know what I mean? Like, look at Disney movies. When you watch Disney movies and, like, old cartoons now, you're like, what the fuck? I thought this was for kids. But when you go back and watch it, like, just because it's for children doesn't need to be completely written that way. But all of that nonsense aside, I've got one final question, and then we will pop it to Brooke and anybody else who might have one, and then we'll get into the giveaway real quick before we check out. Film. I think one of the first things I said originally when I read this is this should be a damn movie. And you had mentioned something like this might actually be happening.
Okay. So, got to be careful how much I say.
I know.
What I will say is I met a friend of mine. He's now a friend, actually. And in this bar, everything happens in a bar, doesn't it?
All the best stories start with a bar.
I've been to watch
what good story do you know starts with a salad?
No, I went to see my cousin gigging in London, and he said, "Oh, my friend's got a birthday party going. It's a private party." He managed to blag us into this private party. We ended up, I ended up meeting this girl at the bar. We stood there, and it was my round, and I said, "Can I have a drink?" And this guy came over who'd read some of my book and said, "Oh, I've just read the first 6 chapters of your book while I was watching Nathan Gig. I haven't read for years. Absolutely amazing. Loving it." And she went, "Have you written a book?" I went, "Yeah." So anyway, Paul came across and she grabbed hold of him, came across, and did I say what did I say? I said cousin. It's my nephew. Sorry, it was my nephew gigging. Getting corrected.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, thank you, Claire. They're getting here. Anyway, he then said, "Can you send me a copy?" And I was like, "Well, can't you buy your own copy, right?" And
No, that's not how this works.
"Can you send me a PDF copy?" I'm going, "Well, no, because that'll get pirated all over the internet."
Oh.
And then he went, "I'm a film producer." Right, so okay, so
Like,
so then we became mates. Then we wrote a script about a year and a bit ago. Then we've been tidying up the script. Now we've got 2 directors reading it.
Okay.
And got one editing a lot of the script and spent hours on it, which means she's quite keen. So yeah, next year could well be a film.
Okay, well, nix it there so you don't like blow your cover.
Yeah,
I can only imagine like the switchover, like especially since it's different when like you're in charge of the production, like you were with your publication, where you were in charge of the speed and how fast things got done.
And the good thing is as well, because I'm self-published. I mean, if it became a film, not only would I do quite well on the film, obviously, I'll have a publisher crawl and I'll love me, won't I? So that's what's going to happen, I would imagine. And if I stay self-published, they'd have to offer me something quite good because I'll sell millions, wouldn't I? So
absolutely, more and more people are self-publishing. Even musicians, like there's no point in getting with the record labels and the publishing houses because they're just taking people for everything they have.
I think The Martian was the first film, wasn't it, that was made with an independent author?
What, Matt Damon?
No, Well,
that was you had Matt Damon and billions of his dollars.
I know. Yeah. However, the director happened to pick up the book. The director picked up the book, didn't know it was independently published, thought I can make a film out of this. Found out it was independently published, phoned the bloke and went, "Do you want me to make it into a film?" Well, of course I do. And that blew it all open, didn't it? So you don't have to be with a publisher now.
No, it's better not because like for me, if I'm going to make a movie, I don't want to deal with the publisher, their lawyers, their bullshit. I'm just going to deal with Trev and his lawyers and his bullshit. So solid. Very excited. When you guys get involved in casting, remember your girls.
I'll cast you all in it.
You can shoot me out of a cannon or something. I'm cool.
I'll just stay behind and give people coffee. I'm good.
I'm like, let me blow something up. I'll sing with the choir.
You could be the announcer in the circus tent, couldn't you?
Ooh, I'm so in on that. I totally have the outfit too.
There you go. And
All right, Brooke.
Brooke, who are you? I don't know. I'm casting you now. So who are you going to be?
I want to be Oliver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you need dye your hair. Flick it off.
Oh my God, a girl Oliver would be so good. It would
I feel like I could really portray that.
And we could call it Olivia.
Oh my God, it'd be so good. Wait, Oliver was such a good guy to hate, and then like also kind of like. If it was a
didn't
girl,
like him ever.
Oh, I like bad guys. Like I'm not like Oliver's my favorite character, but as like a antagonist, I was a big fan of Oliver.
My stomach at some point made me feel so sick because I was so angry that my stomach was tight, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, yeah." You know who's not going to get us? I can't like. I almost like let out like a bunch of spoilers. God damn it, Oliver! Anyway,
the guy on the front,
Oliver as a female would be awesome.
I'll suggest that to this person who's reading it. I can't tell you who it
is. He's supposed to like people like him because they don't realize.
Yeah. Who was I going to say there? The person, my editor said, the person on the front cover, right? Who we're not allowed to mention who it is. The person on the front cover, she went, I never thought I'd read a book where that was my favorite character.
Oh my God, I love him.
Yeah.
That would be a solid one to also gender bend to a girl if like, the media made you do it because that happens. Yeah. But I think Oliver is a girl. Just think of like a sexy femme fatale playing Oliver. It makes you like It changes that up a little bit. Also, though, it would make
that would work though. Go on, Brooke.
You're in. Listen, we're putting Brooke in some leather.
I can try.
I'm just gonna dick around in the circus, and I'm totally cool with that. I'm gonna go cosplay this tomorrow. Watch.
Great.
All right, so we're gonna get wrapping up soon. But Brooke, do you have any final questions?
Not so much a question, but if someone was thinking of buying room 119, I gotta get used to that. Give 5 words. Yeah, 5 words that would make them want to buy it.
Oh, this is a good one.
See your own life differently.
Ooh,
yes, I agree.
I like it. Very nice.
Because a lot of people have said that.
By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Kira.
Oh yeah, Kira, you can walk past in the background. You're all in. You're all in.
I'm saying all of the original readers get like walk-on cameos. Do you know how many famous actors are in Star Wars under Star Troopers masks that you've never seen? We're gonna do that, but with all of your readers.
Yeah. Do you know what as well? If the film were to happen, if the premiere were to happen, I've invited about 3 million people already. Because everyone who says, "Can I go?" I'll just say, "Yeah," because I think it's going to happen. But the minute it does happen,
everybody's going to be there.
Pay back. So what I said I'm going to do?
I gotta hop the pond to get there, bro. I'm coming.
What I've said I'm going to happen. What I'm going to do, if it does happen, and we have a premiere, I'll probably get God knows how many tickets. People have even asked if they can go to the Oscars. I'm going, oh yeah, of course I can.
Absolutely.
But if the premiere happens, which it will.
Yes,
I'm going to book the same theatre the night after for my own premiere and I'll ask some of the actors to come back and just sort of take everyone out on my mates.
Party. Let's party. I can dig it. I love this. I can't wait to see how all of that develops. Most of our viewers have kicked off because we kind of just had drinks with each other and mumbled, but I had a great time. Anybody viewing? If you have any questions for Trev, now is your chance. Ask your questions.
Well, Connor had one, didn't he, about...
Connor's was why you chose a book instead of a movie. I think that was one of my first questions.
Okay. I'll tell you one thing I'll answer while someone thinks of the question.
Anything you want to tell us.
I took the liberty, thinking I was going to be asked, of... When I said I've read 19 books, it's actually 18. I thought I'll write them down. I'll tell you the books I read. Books. So I'm not sure about the Terry Pratchett ones, but when I was in the RAF, I definitely read 7 Terry Pratchett books.
Ooh.
Reaper Man, definitely. No surprise there. Mort, The Colour of Magic, I think I read that. We Free Men, I read that. One with elephants in it. Got a clue what that's called. That elephants on the covers. And another, but I can't remember the other. Right. And then I've read The Damn United, which is a football book about Leeds United.
You mean soccer?
Yeah, it was a soccer book about Leeds United. Bradley Wiggins' autobiography, which is about a cyclist, and it's not autobiography, so it probably shouldn't count. Wasn't fiction.
No, it's a book. It doesn't have to be fiction.
Then just before I wrote Room 119, the summer before,
it wasn't fiction, so it doesn't
I
count.
read 2 summers before. I read Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King.
Ooh.
And guess what happens in the back of that book? In my copy, bought it in Spain.
You're missing pages.
No, worse than that.
It translates to a different language.
Okay. Do you want to have 10 guesses before I tell you?
Oh my God, no. What happened?
No, okay. What happened? It said on the second last chapter, in the middle of this paragraph, in brackets, link this bit back to chapter 2. Oops. And his son edited that, so that went out. Link, and I do that, you see. When I'm writing, I'll put in brackets and in yellow pen, I'll highlight in yellow, make sure you link this bit back to so-and-so. He left it in.
Oh,
so anyway.
His son edited that?
Yeah, his son edited it.
Netflix show.
Yeah. And then the next one just before, I'd written Room 119, but I made my friend read it on holiday. It was the Kindle version, which I'd sent to my own Kindle, which was the Word version, 127,000 word version.
Oh.
So she went, well, you got to read this book then, which is the Couple Next Door, which is rubbish. Didn't like it.
You're like, yeah, this was shit.
I didn't like it. It's too obvious. It's too obvious. Then after I've done Room 119, I'm sort of connecting with people on Facebook. So I've promised to read a few things. So I read Holy Island by L.J. Ross, who's probably the biggest She's the biggest independent author in the UK by an absolute mile. She just does this detective series with DCI Ryan, and that's quite good. I did Famously Ordinary, which is a friend of mine's book on Audible. Listen to that. He's only written 3 or 4 books, but he read mine, so I read his. So that's quite good.
Fair trade. I know my audio is going to be a little weird. I had to like plug in and unplug my headphones.
I'm nearly done on my marathon of. I'm nearly done on my. This isn't my TBR. This is my ever read.
I read 18 books this month.
I read 2.
My ever read shorter than your TBRs. I've watched all your TBRs, and they're longer than my ever reads.
Yeah, I don't read most of my TBRs to make you feel better.
So the next one was The Chalk Man. I was talking to CJ Tudor on Twitter. I used to talk to quite a lot.
Oh, okay.
My book came out about the same time, so we used to chat a little bit. And obviously, she had Stephen King going. If you like my stuff, you like this. That sort of blew her above me. It's very good. That book, actually, written in the first person, which I don't do. Then I read The Penultimate Man, which is by another friend of mine. It was a short story. Then I read. Here we go. I'm getting near the end. I read. What's that? The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, because I thought I've got to grow up and read something proper. And that was an audio book, but because I was doing a lot of driving, so I thought I'm going to try and read more. So The Time Machine, the only problem with that, and who am I to criticize H.G. Wells, but he said hither and thither about 10 times in the book.
What are you called? That's like when I'm like, Trev, what are you called?
How
are you called? Who talks like this?
They would wander around hither and thither. So that must have been a thing back in the day. Then I read my best book I've ever read in my entire life is Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh, I've heard good things.
I listened to. It's going to be a film very shortly. They've picked it up. I cannot think there could be anything better written than that in my life.
Wow.
However, what I will say, it does describe the wildlife a lot, and sometimes you're going, "Oh, come on, get on with it." But it's beautiful.
Counting the blades of grass.
Yes, a lot of that going on. Yeah, you get annoyed with it, but it's still a gorgeous book. And then I just
appreciate the goods, even though I'll be.
I just listened to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, so that was my 18th book. I was overdoing myself saying 19.
Amazing.
I'm gonna say by like Prisoner of Azkaban, the writing starts to get better.
Okay, well, I've started the next one.
It starts to get better.
I've started the next one, but he's not Hogwarts yet. He's just arguing with his family a lot.
Yeah, that
happens every single book.
Yeah, that's the beginning of every book. You know, my birthday is like right before Harry Potter's birthday, so all of this, I'm like, this is my life.
I've got a question for you, lot, before we answer Connor's there, right? So when you do sequels and stuff, because both my books are standalone, do you really have to? And I get the feeling you do, based upon the beginning of the second Harry Potter, sort of tell you what happened in the first one. Isn't it better to assume someone read the first one rather than have to do this?
So
drives me nuts. Personally, when they do it,
don't spend 12 chapters telling me what happened to the first book.
But that's what's happening right now, and I'm going, well, I know it.
She does that so bad. Yeah,
we've already discussed her writing.
Okay,
I will say, like, if there's like a bunch of time that has passed, like if it's 3 years between book 1 and book 2, tell me a little bit about book 1 and what happened in between. But you better only do that in the prequel and then get into the story. Yeah, especially like if I'm going to read, it's very rare that I get to do this, read the first book, the second book, the third book, because I jump around with my reading. But if I'm going to read 1, 2, 3 right in a row, and I just finished a book and you're already telling me what was already in that book, I'm going to get relatively annoyed, and my reading's definitely going to slow down on that. So yes, 1,000%, if you're going to do sequels, assume your reader has read the book, but assume the reader read the book 6 months ago. So give her a quick refresh and then move on. Yeah,
because it feels like I've listened to about the first half hour of the second Harry Potter. Not all it's done is tell me what happened in the first one with a bit of arguing with the family.
Oh, especially the audiobooks. They're longer. Yeah. They're a little bit more like droll.
So what's Connor asking just before we're done?
So Connor's saying, what was your favorite part about writing the book?
Just being able to.
Hero agrees. Prisoner of Azkaban is definitely the best one.
The best part about writing a book is when you turn up randomly at a party or something, and then it's mentioned, and you go, "Oh yeah, don't really want to talk about it," but you really do want to talk about it.
Yeah,
and you're quite proud of yourself, aren't you? I mean, you're quite proud of yourself.
Yeah, I am.
It's like getting your homework marked in public. You've actually thrown something out there and said, off you go, mark it.
Can't think of anything worse.
I know, but that's what you're doing.
And Connor's input on the sequel game is we already read the first one. Carry on, give me a cheeky reference.
Yeah.
Or 2 to give me a knowing chuckle. Sorry, I can't. My eyes are terrible.
Which is what they should do, and they're not at the moment.
Maybe like
anyway.
if you mention I just say who and then
Sorry, say that again.
Oh, I was just saying, like, if you're gonna mention someone's name, maybe just mention who they are again, just to refresh.
I just didn't think it was necessary. I must admit, I was watching it straight afterwards.
Well, that's what it is. Like when it's right after, you're just like, I don't need all of this. I already read this.
What?
It's in.
All right. Oh, sorry. Claire's just mentioned something to me. The other 2 things I've done, sort of promoting wise, is I've done obviously a radio appearance, but it was a local radio around here. And then I did a bit of a talk in Harrogate Library, which is cool, which Claire attended with me, which was very much around how do you structure a novel. And it was weird because the other 4 people on the panel had written about 10 books, and he's me going, oh, well,
You're like,
had a dream. Had a dream and just sort of started typing, book, there it goes. And you can see them all looking at me going, well, that's not how you're meant to do it.
Dreams made real. That's where we are now, buddy.
And we went to Newcastle to a meet-up of this Facebook group in the Northeast, and that was fab because everyone's like, they treat you a bit like a superstar, which is a bit weird because all you've done's sort of you've just written something, haven't you?
Right,
but I can remember Michelle Riles, who read my book, she read it before it was out, and she gave it 5 stars, and she absolutely loved it. She went, "You haven't got a clue how good a writer you are." I'm going, "All right, thanks." And then she saw me.
You know why? Because you're not like tainted by like. It's not like Brooke and I have read 10 different styles in the last 10 weeks. For like us to go and write something, we're like, well, this writer writes like this, and this writer, even if we're not consciously doing that, our brain is going, so this is how this works. So maybe it should sound like this, and this character for you, you're like, whatever, this is what it looks like in my head. I'm gonna write it down.
And when you said you said on your review, you went, you developed the characters enough so we knew what was going on. Well, I'm probably in my head going, well, why do you need any more then? I'm going to leave a bit out.
I don't know anything about a day trader, but you gave me just enough information to understand what was happening, the dialogue and the world. But I didn't need to take an economics class to read this book because that would have pissed me off.
And then the last thing that happened at Newcastle, which is bizarre, was then people who bought my book, because I'd take a few books there, they want selfies with you, and that's bizarre. Yeah, because you're like, what? You want a selfie with me? Could you mind pausing for a picture? And I'm going, really? I'm just a bloke who's written a book. But I suppose that's the way it goes, isn't it? I'd like to think I wouldn't, when it becomes a film and when I become dead famous, I'd like to think nothing changes with me. I would like to think that. So.
I mean, remember me.
You seem like a pretty down-to-earth fella.
I would never speak to you ever again, Brooke. Obviously, if you make an appointment, I'll speak to you.
Actually, Brooke,
thank you.
I'll make it now than me. Oh man, I honestly can't wait to see how things.
You're my first 2 booktubers who've ever read my book. There you go. Boom. How can I ever forget you? So when you turn up at the premiere and you're in the crowd and say, Trev, can we have a picture with Jude Law and so-and-so and all these actors? I'll say, sorry, Brooke, not now, Brooke. I'd be like a film on it. Not now, Brooke. Can you ring me agent?
Yeah.
Joke's on you. We're crashing the red carpet, bro.
Yeah, I'm coming in anyway. You can't stop me.
I'm like, have you met us?
Yeah. With the AK-47 you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
You bring that with you.
I'm more of a fan of swords. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a blade girl myself.
I'm a bit of a wuss, so I'll just hide.
Did you say you're gonna come in with a sawed off?
No, she's not. Brooke's gonna hide.
Oh,
I said I'm a bit of a wuss, so I'll just hide.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to bring swords, but I'll be wearing my circus outfit.
Brooke's killing mechanism would be poison, I reckon. Be sneaky, wouldn't it? You'd be like, I'm not doing anything up front. I'm not going to get a sword out or anything like that.
It's just poison. Clean. It's a cleaner way to kill somebody.
God, I'm glad you're all plotting that anyway.
Incriminating ourselves, guys. All right, so Brooke, Connor, anybody else who's still watching, does anybody have any final questions for Trev?
I can't remember.
No. Well
All
done.
right, I don't believe I have any questions. I mean, I know we kind of just rambled for like 2 hours, but this was a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. So thank you, Brooke, for joining us. Thank you, Trev, for making this all happen. Let us get into the giveaway before we sign off real quick, yeah?
Yep.
All right. So, for our live viewers, you are automatically getting 2 entries just for being here and watching the live show. If you already have room 119, you can get funicular.
Well done.
We'll work that out. Trev, if you win, there we go. So this giveaway is going to be open for a full week. I will announce the winner next Wednesday. We're going to be giving away 2 copies of room 119. It could be an e-copy or a physical copy. It is open internationally. Even though we are only giving away 2 books, there are so many chances to win. I will write out the detailed information and have it underneath the description when this video is just like on the YouTube. It'll also be on my Instagram and all my other socials. All of our live viewers get 2 entries. All of the winners will be chosen randomly in a week. I will film the actual like selection so you guys can see how I do all of that. Let me see my other giveaway rules, shall we? It's like 7,000 degrees in my room right now. I'm viciously sweating.
I mean, literally.
Oh yeah, like I'm like sweating. This is the hottest room in my house. It's like a greenhouse. It's obnoxious, but it's my favorite room. All right, so we're open internationally.
Can I just say thanks, Claire, because she just provided me another beer.
Thanks, Claire.
Thank you.
So my live viewers are all getting entries. There are ways to enter on the YouTube video once this is on the channel. If you comment, you will automatically be entered into the giveaway. There will be ways to enter on Instagram, Twitter, and all the other socials, but I'm going to post them because it's definitely going to be easier to read the rules than for me to explain it. However, there are ways to enter every single day, and there are ways to get between 1 and like 50 entries to this giveaway. So definitely check out how that all goes. And like I said, in a week, I will be announcing the winners. When I announce the winners, I will post it on all of my socials. And the winners, they have to contact me within a week. If they do not contact me, I will pick new winners. Am I missing anything, guys?
No.
No.
Well, I know.
Solid. All right. Well, like I said, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to get all the giveaway information up and all that kind of stuff. So keep your eye out for that.
And can I just thank Cara for sorting this out and Brooke for being our guest star.
Woo, my host. I'm the hostess with the mostest. It was a pleasure. Done. And like, Brooke, thank you so much. I know we asked you like 12 hours ago if you wanted to join us. So thankfully this worked out really well. Otherwise, it would have just been me like harassing Trev for 2 hours. So
yeah, at least I got it from both sides.
Yeah. It's not a bad sandwich to be in. All right. Well, thank you both so much. Thank you all of our viewers who watched live and all of our viewers who will be watching later on the channel. Make sure that you subscribe to Trev, Brooke, and all of my socials and such. All of the links will be on everything. Do you guys have any final words?
No, I've already said thanks. Just thanks you so much. Hope you enjoyed it, and let's do it again, man.
Yes, we will. I'll have to read funicular, and we'll do it again.
Yes.
Thanks,
right, Brooke. Thanks for coming in last minute, Brooke. Appreciate that.
That's all right. Thank you
so much fun.
Cheers, guys.
Next time, guys.
Bye.
Oh, where's my hand? There it is.